Okay, this video, this is just going to focus on my thoughts on the CFSv2 monthly runs. I'm going to go back, I guess I'll go back 4 runs. You don't want to use this model for anything other than trend analysis. And you want to couple this with the use of this with other analytical tools and data to get a better, broader, more focused picture on the trends. This model, I believe, is probably one of the best tools in what I've used for long range climatological stuff, especially for winter. So we're going to start off here. This is the run from also this runs 0Z, 6Z, 12Z, and 18Z. So this runs 4 times a day. So this is this first starts as 10/16 12Z run. So yesterday's 12Z run. So it's going to start off in October. So it's showing pretty strong trough off the West Coast. Strong blocking signature indicative of the strat worm. And a trough backing in to the East Coast. Now that's something that you typically look for, a trough digging in from the northwest, from northwest to southeast. But you get these retrograding troughs off of southeast Canada and Newfoundland and Nova Scotia, and they pretty tricky. They'll back in, and if you have a trough energy getting ready to drop in, it could pull that trough back in even further. So we'll watch this. So this is October, November. Strong ridging, Greenland, Baffin Island, over northern Canada into Alaska. When you see these oh, I didn't want to do that. Parting when you see these isobars, these lines of pressure, when you see them buckling up like that, that is an indication that although we see this negative, this area of low pressure cutting under, that this tells me that there's going to be a ridge building in here. So let's move forward. And this is, it's not a bad pattern for November. Now bear in mind, this is 4 runs ago. So here is December 2021. This is the 12Z run from yesterday. So this, what I'm trying to illustrate here, the point I'm trying to get across is as I go through the next few runs to up to the most recent run, you're going to see why I use this model for trends. Because what I've seen in other guidance and the discussions that I've had with Cody is it gives some pretty good weight to this trend. So let me continue here. So December here, it's showing a pretty strong ridge here in the east. I mean, this would be a killer. But knowing what, like I said, knowing what I've seen in other climate drivers, in my analog packages that I've created, where I've used tons of different indexes and data from previous years that were weak La Ninas trending to cool neutral La Ninas, coupled with dozens and dozens of other things. So, that information will be coming in a video here within the next few weeks. So here's December from this run. January, again, this is horrible. This would not be good at all. And then here comes February. February builds back, and this is one of the things we discussed with Cody with this trend that I'm seeing with the weak La Nina into a cool neutral state is indicative of a strong, intense back-ended winter, February, March, and maybe even into early April. And so we'll continue. Still no blocking with this, which is not terrible because this is somewhat of a cross-polar flow. And I would still take this with this ridge here. And this means that, okay, you got blocking up here where you would want to see a 50-50 low. Typically, that's where you want to see a 50-50 low and see the blocking up here. But because how this positive is positioned, this is gonna create the situation for cutters coming down and Miller B systems bombing off of the Outer Banks, the Delmarva, and with this positive up here, they're gonna get forced up the coast. So here's March. Again, this is indicative of a big winter, and I will allude a little bit to this here, but I will have it more in another video where I touch on more other pattern drivers and a broader look in regards to everything that I've been looking at for this winter. But the subtropical jet, I think, is going to be a big player, especially as we get to the end of January, into February and March. And like I said, possibly even into early April. So here's April from that run. Trough builds back into the west. Ridging comes back. So that's not good. And we'll run through. So this run had ridging in the west and a trough in the east for May. Another cool May. And I'm going to try my best not to give any hints or get into the 2022-23 winter. So June, July. Okay, we're back to the next run. So here's the 18Z run from yesterday. So here's October. And we'll just do quick. So here's October from the 18Z run yesterday, and here's October from the 12Z run. So you see the difference here. Stronger positive in the central U.S. Still decent positive, decent blocking up here over Baffin Island. Negative still off the west coast. Still have that trough off the east coast that's trying to stick its nose back in, and then there's some strat warm implications here as well, which I could go into, but this video would be way longer than what I can afford it to be at this time of day. So that information will be coming later this coming week. So one more look here at the last run. Still, I mean, negative, ridging just builds south a little bit more. You get a little bit more of an amplified pattern in regards to the ridging and troughing. I think this, but we'll see. I'm gonna stop talking and keep going here. So November, this 18Z run, and I'll go back and show you November of the previous run. So you see here flatter negatives across but much of all of the U.S. pretty much. More of a west to east ridging with the orientation of the positives. But see here, you got this positive back here that's building in. So that tells me when you see that and you see these lines of pressure here buckling to the north, that tells me that this is going to happen. And boom, right here, this understanding the orientation of the lines of pressure, the thicknesses. So here's the 18Z run. Perfect. I mean, this lines up with November, with my thoughts for November, and there's some things coming that Cody and I have been talking about that we will touch on in the next 10 to 14 days. Okay, probably I should say in the next at least 10 days, 7 to 10 days. It's a lot of things that are occurring that are coupled together, and we can't just talk about one thing without talking about the other. So just sit tight with that stuff. But this is very good looking, and lines up with my thoughts that I've been working on for the last couple months. Oh, here's December. Positive still, I mean, up to the north, and then you still got this buckling here to the north of the thicknesses, but you got this negative cutting in. And normally, I mean, well, this is not such a bad view here, because the negatives, you want the negatives coming in to the northwest, and that the old Norm Macdonald adage of where the negatives come in, where the lows come in, they exit off the east coast. So you get a storm coming in the northwest, it'll dig and it'll come up, and you got this negative off the southeast coast, which is going to pull that trough in, and more likely push this positive back to the north and west. So I now go and look at the previous run. So here, so it's actually improved. It's actually improved a little bit. So that negative pulls back. So here we'll move forward. Here we go. Negative across the top. Some blocking here. The indications of trying to connect up with a cross-polar flow. Previous run, ridging back in here. So this is not a bad change here. We just get some amplification here. This will change. But I'm going to keep going. This is January. Here's February for this run. We'll go back to the previous run. Pretty much the same. Ridge backs off. Trough gets a little broader. Still got some blocking. Man, if this connects up, I mean, this is what you want to see, is this connect up, and that trough would crash. Okay, that's February. Here's March. Look, go back and run. Previous run, March was in a little bit better shape, but I won't argue so much with this. And then we'll go to April. This run, go back one more run. So good negatives here, low pressure. A bit of a southeast ridge here, pretty much a zonal Pacific flow here. Go back to the 18Z from yesterday. And okay, I'm going to go back May, June, July. So I'm going to go to the next run. And I'm not going to be switching back and forth here very much anymore. So still with the negative off the West Coast, strong Gulf of Alaska low. Still have the trough off the East Coast, trough over the southern U.S. Strong positive over top in central Canada and Greenland. Here we go, November. Here we go. Things are starting to work themselves out. This negative builds back. Ridge is allowed to build to the north, or start to build to the north, and this is a good look. So here's December. This is an interesting look. I'm not sure. I mean, I don't buy this, based off of what I've been seeing and other parameters and guidance. So here's January with this run. Here's February. Here's March, and here's April. This would be definitely a below normal temperature wise, and in stormy pattern. Excuse me. Okay, we'll go back. Go to this morning's run, the 6Z. Here's October, November, December, and this is. I mean, these are actually good views here. Negative still. I mean, but this is pushing west. You have this up here. This ridge pulls back. This drops in, connects up with this trough. So October, November, ridge is pulling back. Negative off the west coast is pulling back. Trough is building back. December, ridge is building. Negative is way back off the west coast. Now things are starting to look up. This is January from this morning's 6E run. This is even without Greenland blocking here, and something tells me I think we're going to see more, but this is beautiful setup for January. So here we got February, and I'm not so opposed to this because of what I'm seeing here. I'd like to see the ridging a little further east. Still got a lot of negative here that can drop in. And I don't buy the impact of the southeast ridge here. It's not that strong anyhow. So here's March. Here's April. Okay, now I'm going to go to the most recent run. And I'm going to wrap this up. Here's October. Still not. I mean, it's negative still off the west coast. Ridging still there. Troughs building back. November, December, and this doesn't look the best, but based off the trends that I'm seeing, I think we're going to see more troughing in the east and more ridge in the west, and in this subtropical jet undercutting. January, this is beautiful. February and March, and I still think so. Also, for March, I think we're going to see more of a trough in the east with this. So I expect some corrections towards that in the next several runs. And here's April.